Hello everybody, Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having a pretty decent day. As for me, it's been busy, got a lot of things going on, some transitions that are taking place that are both exciting and extremely demanding, and that's where I'm at. Before I get started, I want to remind you that we are in the middle of a fundraising. I say this often, and the problem with repeating something is we have been trained to become desensitized to things as we see them and hear them, we zone them out. And so in almost everything we do in order to get our attention, people are studying, evolving approaches, and everything from ads to the way ads are going. I remember the pop-up ad used to be one of the most popular ways to get somebody on online, or the sidebar ad. And then we just trained ourselves to ignore them as if they weren't there, to go ahead and do what we came there to do. So they got more innovative in how they presented it, embedded links and so many other different things. Look, no matter how many times you hear that we are raising funds for the Black Men Lead Rite of Passage Initiative, the severity of our condition that demands that we do so has not diminished. It has not subsided. It has not dissipated. In fact, it has become more intense. We are in a place where we are totally losing our communities, what's left of them. And no one's coming to the rescue. Nobody's going to save us. Nobody's going to change the situation. We're literally imploding. You know, one of my favorite quotes, it's in my top 5. It's an African proverb that says, if there's no enemy on the inside, the enemy on the outside can do us no harm. But we have enough enemies on the inside. Childhood sexual abuse, absentee fatherhood, mass incarceration by participation. Yes, there are mechanisms in place that push us towards the private prison industrial complex and mass incarceration. But there are so many things that make us vulnerable to it that we are responsible for. We are not properly socializing our young Black males. We are not properly being invested in modeling Black manhood. We are not operating with our hand on the pulse of our community. There's so much that needs to be done that isn't being done, and it's our responsibility. So when we sit here and we say, hey, we need your support, we're not talking about for no benefit party. We're not talking about for some gala. We're not talking about something that's for a visual. We're talking about every day there's a need. I don't have a day that goes by that my inbox isn't full of parents with sons that are in need, primarily single Black women with parents with sons that are in need, or sons that are caught up in the system, or sons that are battling some form of a mental illness or a mental condition or a psychological condition, and there are no resources. We are going to have to own our responsibility, and it's not going to come with passive engagement like, oh my God, shaking my head and all the other things we post every time we see something that's done that we think is awful. If we don't like the results, like anything else in life, you're going to have to change them. When I'm dealing with my clients who are trying to improve their lives, I tell them, look, you can sit here and whine, you can sit here and complain, or you can do something about it. Nothing different than that when we're talking about changing the condition of our communities. We are going to have to do better. We're going to have to change the situation. I get all of the kudos and accolades I could probably ask for. That means absolutely nothing if people don't get behind the work. I'm not here to get my ego stroked. I'm not here to sit up and have people to tell me that I'm brilliant. I don't need any of that for me to be fulfilled. I put in work every day. I support my family. I fight. I do the things I want to do. I make a living so that I can be an example to the kids in my life. Well, my kids, most of my kids are adult, but they're still my kids. I am walking out to the best of my ability what I say, and every day I'm working on me and I'm getting better. That's what fulfills me, getting better every day, being someone that my kids can look at as an example, being someone that the young men that I mentor can look at as an example. That's what fulfills me. So yes, if I'm not gonna piss on the compliments, because yes, I appreciate them, but that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to be celebrated. I'm not here to prove I'm better than the other guy on the other channel. None of that stuff matters to me. I would rather partner with the guy on the other channel and do something that's going to uplift our community than to sit up and play this competition game. Or like I said, I don't need anybody to validate me. I don't move in that type of flow. I don't need nobody to tell me who I am. What I do is because I believe in it. What I do is because I love it. And so I do it whether I get support or not. But if we're talking about literally and truly changing the community, it's going to take more than what we post on social media, in content and responses to content. The people who are out there putting out the content is necessary. That's how you enlighten. That's how you reprogram. That's how you inform. That's necessary, but that's not where change ends. That's the beginning of change. Change is the next step, is actually putting action behind the proposed solutions. It's about saying, hey, you're on to something there. When I stood up and I came to you over 10 years ago and told you, look, I have spent years studying African-American adolescent young adult male violence. I can tell you why our kids are killing each other. I can tell you why young black men are killing black women. I can tell you, not only do I know why they're doing it, I can tell you how to stop it. Not some guess. I'm talking about years and years of studies. I'm talking about proof. There's proof in the pudding behind socializing any type of male. But when you socialize a young black male, you reduce his proclivity to violence. You reduce his subjectivity. You reduce him being subject to becoming criminalized. You reduce violence. You reduce dropout rates, which dropout rates increase the risk of incarceration. You deal with all those socioeconomic ills by simply investing in socializing that black male. What does socializing mean? It means to develop in him a mindset, a personality, and a will to move in a way that is pro-social and productive in the sphere in which he operates, which is first and foremost as a black male. And as a black male, that comes black responsibilities. And with those black responsibilities, the entire neighborhood, the entire community, the entire race will float. You can talk about the upward mobility of black women until you're blue in the face. And I think it's a beautiful thing that our sisters are making moves. But without the black man being in a position of protection, without the black man being in the position of provision, without the black man being in a spiritual position of priesthood, there's going to be a problem. And we're not training our kids on a universal level how to do this. That's why they're out there killing each other. That's why they're out there doing stupid stuff like stealing catalytic converters. We're not imposing and inculcating into their mindset the need for them to sit up and actually own something. All they're doing is sit up and watching us beg. We're sitting up begging a government that is going to send $14 billion in aid to the Ukraine when our communities are shot to hell. And we consistently think that this government cares, or that this government will ever show up and give what is necessary. They're not going to do it. We need to stop waiting on anybody outside of ourselves to do what we have a responsibility to do for ourselves. The time is out for that. And I came to talk about the Ukraine, and I just got caught up in that. But Stop letting people tell you who to like, who to dislike, and who to support. You know how many times we've been on the wrong side because we followed the media? I'm not telling you what side to be on. I'm telling you to do your homework. I'm telling you to read. I'm telling you to gain an understanding of what's going on. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you to do anything besides know. But what I will tell you is, no matter whose side you on, you got a government sitting $14 billion. Infrastructure in America shot to hell. But the inner city is blighted. Nobody gives a damn. Schools are literally being shut down. The public school systems are being shut down. You don't even realize it. They use the charter school system to start shutting down inner city public schools. Eventually going to the point where they're only charter schools and private schools. Then they're going to go to a completely privatization of schools. While you can get in trouble for not sending your kid to school, there's no guarantee under the Constitution of a free education. But we're not prepared because we won't invest in ourselves. We won't build schools. We won't set up means through which we can educate and empower our kids. I told you when I wrote The Miseducation of Black Youth, 10 years ago. I told you when I wrote Academic Apartheid a couple of years ago that we have a responsibility to our kids, and that holistic education is so much more than just the attainment of academic skills. I told you all this. I stood up and I made it clear that we have a responsibility to our children to prepare and empower them to go out into a world that is inherently hostile towards them and not only compete but win. We failed at that. We failed horribly at that. And I've gone over and over again. There are literally thousands upon thousands of videos just on this channel alone. Then I've got other channels. I've written 24 books. I've sat down and wrote thousands of scholarly articles and tens of thousands of prose articles over the last 30 years. I've lectured until I'm blue in the face. I'm constantly in the inner city, at inner city schools. So is my wife. My wife is taking contracts in inner city schools to work with these young girls. Do you realize that we live in a hub here in Houston where human trafficking has taken place? You want to know the number one target for human trafficking? Young black girls, then young Latino girls. I just found out that in the Houston area, there's a cult where black girls are disappearing to. Some guy that's making them call him daddy. And guess what? They're preying on the misguided. They're preying on the ostracized. They're preying on the vulnerable. And they're vulnerable because we are not holding it down. I don't care what's going on in the situations. We're going to have to stand stronger in our communities. We're going to have to look at what's in front of us. Like I said, I'm not real big on emotion. I'm not real big on tugging on emotional strings. I'm real big on teaching. I'm real big on presenting real, true solutions. I'm real big on conducting the research and gaining an understanding for the purpose of creating solutions. I've done that for years. I've presented it. And here we are sitting here and we're not taking action, and we're frustrated with the outcome. Until you do something different, you're going to keep getting the same outcome. That's life. That's life in every area and every facet. You are going to have to change your thinking, change your approach, change your actions, change your behaviors before you get a different result. It's time for us to get a different result. It's time for us to show our children that they matter. It's time for us to start acting like we're pro-black, not just talking about it. It's time to move beyond hashtagging and take action. It's real simple. It's real simple. If you just understood the weight of what I get just in seeing people who are coming to me and they're bringing themselves and their children and they're broken. They're beat down, they're traumatized, they're overwhelmed, and nobody's going to help them except us. And for those of you who are coming, keep coming. I'm going to keep fighting for you. I'm going to keep doing what I can. For those of you who can help, now's the time. Now's the time to help. This is not the excuses. I started a targeted fundraiser for Black Men Lead going on 3 months ago. The goal was a week. The goal was $10,000. And I'm sharing it on multiple platforms. So we're talking about all platforms combined, more than 20,000 people. We just got past $500 in almost 3 months. Just one of the people who come to me a day costs more than that to help. Yes, I don't mind giving my time, but it's so much more to this than that. We need resources. We need a national network that will allow us to institute a universal rite of passage where we're training all young Black boys the same way to achieve and get to manhood. That's what we need. That's what we need. On that note, look, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here, but I just had to bring that to you. We need your support. If you go to the description box or the post box or wherever it is that you find the written part of this video, there's a link that you can click and you can go to and you can show support. Or there's the organization's Cash App account handle. Show some love, show some support. I'm challenging everybody who says they are about Black advancement, Black empowerment, Black elevation. It's time to get active. It's time to be involved. It's good to go to stuff and look at it. And I tell people all the time, watching my videos versus watching me is two totally different things. Can you get something out of my videos? Yes, I design my videos to help people. But working with me is a whole different level. Same thing with when we're talking about boys. It's good to be able to sit up and be like, man, you need to check this out. This brother doing this brother. Yeah. But if you sit down and look deeply into what I do, and you see the mechanisms and the layers of how I've created this thing and the work that I've put into it year after year after year, you start to see maybe there's something there. Maybe this is where we change. Maybe we give our children a future. More important, maybe our grandchildren move into a world, our great-grandchildren move into a world that we've never seen before because we empower their parents. That's where I'm at right now. Look, I'm going to get out of here.